Verse 1. Now it happened that the Israelites were in a battle against the Philistines. If you know anything about the Philistines, one of their original names is Peleset. This is from which we get the word Palestine from, Philistina. These are the ancient Greek peoples from the dark ages of Greece around the 1200s. They arrived in the land of Palestine. So these are ancient Greek people and Western Turkey people. This was back then when Turkey was not called Turkey. The Turks had not even arrived there. These were Greek types, Greek type of peoples. Now the Philistines gathered their forces forward. They lived in that area called Gaza for war and assembled at Sokol in Judah. They pitched camp at Ephes Damim between Sokol and Azekah. Saul and the Israelites assembled and camped in the valley of Elah and drew up their battle line to meet the Philistines. Verse 3, the Philistines occupied one hill and the Israelites another, with the valley between them. Verse 4, a champion named Goliath, who was from Gath, came out of the Philistine camp. His height was 6 cubits and a span. His cubits, 6 cubits and a span. So a cubit is about from my hand to my elbow. So this guy is a giant. He had a bronze helmet on his head and wore a coat of scale armor of bronze weighing 5,000 shekels. So this guy is heavy and he's very strong. On his legs he wore bronze greaves and a bronze javelin was slung on his back. His spear shaft was like a weaver's rod and its iron point weighed 600 shekels. His shield bearer went ahead of him. Okay, now, what is he going to do? Do you think the Israelites are going to fight him? They have a relationship with God, the Israelites, yes. You would expect them to have some courage. But you're going to see the opposite. Verse 8, Goliath stood and shouted to the ranks of Israel, why do you come out and line up for battle? Am I not a Philistine, and are you not the servants of Saul? Choose a man and have him come down to me. If he is able to fight and kill me, we will become your subjects. But if I overcome him and kill him, you will become our subjects and serve us. So this is similar to, as you would see in the Iliad, how there was the battle going on, and there was the challenge between Hector and Achilles, 1 versus 1. And so this is one of those similar situations. Goliath would step up and challenge any one of them. Unfortunately, and wrongly so, they did not have the divine viewpoint for them to have that courage to fight Goliath. Human viewpoint says, oh, he's tall, he's a giant, how am I going to do it? Divine viewpoint says, the Lord, the victories is the Lord, he fights for me, the battles is the Lord's. Verse 9, verse 10. Then the Philistines said, this day I defy the armies of Israel. Give me a man and let us fight each other. On hearing the Philistines' words, Saul and all the Israelites were dismayed and terrified. Look at these guys. And a lot of these guys are great warriors. Saul and David's brothers are there too. They're all dismayed and terrified. In fact, they're going to be there for 40 days not doing anything. Just hearing Goliath, loudmouth Goliath, curse the Lord and the armies. And they're all going to be cowards. They're full of human viewpoint. This is all it takes. All you simply have to be is be filled with fear, and yes, you're in a status, you have human viewpoint because you lack Bible doctrine. Verse 12. Now David was the son of an Ephrathite named Jesse. This is the way Hebrew writes. It goes back and repeats something about a person. Now David was the son of an Ephrathite named Jesse, who was from Bethlehem in Judah. Jesse had 8 sons, including David, and in Saul's time he was very old. Jesse's 3 oldest sons had followed Saul to the war. 3 oldest sons, which they were, the firstborn was Eliab, that tall, dark, and handsome one. The second one's Abinadab, see the other one. And the third was Shammah, the first 3 people that Jesse decided to model in front of Samuel. He's the 3 that he's most proud of, the best good looking, the ones with the higher ranks. And David was the last one. So verse 14, David was the youngest. The 3 oldest followed Saul, but David went back and forth from Saul to tend his father's sheep at Bethlehem. So what happens here is that back in the ancient days, if you were a soldier, your family were in charge of providing the rations, providing everything necessary for you to remain fed. And who was the right person to be sent? Well, David. David used to go and help his brothers, and at the same time, he had to go back to his father's sheep because he was not allowed to forsake them. Verse 16. For 40 days the Philistine came forward every morning and evening and took his stand. So 40 days of challenging these guys, 40 days of cursing the Lord, and no one did anything. Verse 17. Now Jesse said to his son David, "Take this ephah of roasted grain and these 10 loaves of bread for your brothers and hurry to their camp. Take along these 10 cheeses to the commander of their unit. See how your brothers are and bring back some assurance from them." So Jesse, like a good father, he's trying to have his sons promoted. So there he's trying to become a little obsequious and give them a little gift here and there. So he says, take along these 10 cheeses to the commander of their unit. So who's the right person to take? David. He cannot just give it to any of his servants. He has to take one that is most trusted, and the best person for this job is David here at this moment. See how your brothers are and bring back some assurance from them. Verse 19. They are with Saul and all the men of Israel in the valley of Elah, fighting against the Philistines. Oh, no one's doing any fighting at this moment. Everyone's just standing in line in the ranks, scared out of their minds. Verse 20. Early in the morning, David left the flock in the care of a shepherd. Good. Loaded up and set out as Jesse had directed. He reached the camp as the army was going out of its battle positions, shouting the war cry. Israel and the Philistines were drawing up their lines facing each other. David left his things with the keeper of supplies, ran to the battle lines, and asked his brothers how they were. As he was talking to them, he heard Loudmouth. He was talking with him. Goliath, the Philistine champion from Gath, stepped out from his lines and shouted his usual defiance, and David heard it. What do you think David's response is going to be? Is he going to be scared like his brother Shamath and Eliab and Abinadab? Is he going to be like King Saul? And Jonathan is probably right there at this moment. He's a courageous hero as well, but Jonathan is not stepping up either. Verse 24. Whenever the Israelites saw the man, they all fled from him in great fear. Everyone's in a status of cowardice. Verse 25. Now the Israelites had been saying, "Do you see how this man keeps coming out? He comes out to defy Israel. The king will give great wealth to the man who kills him. He will also give him his daughter in marriage and will exempt his family from taxes in Israel." Oh, that's a good motive to fight. Tax exemption for life. Verse 26. David asked the man standing near him, "What will be done for the man who kills this Philistine and removes this disgrace from Israel?" Look at David. Who is this uncircumcised Philistine? Divine viewpoint operating at this moment. Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that should defy the armies of the living God? Do you hear him saying, "Who is this so gigantic, great hero"? I'm scared. He didn't say that. He emphasized divine viewpoint. Look, uncircumcised Philistine. He is an unbeliever, here also known as uncircumcised, that should defy the armies of the living God. Verse 27. They repeated to him what they had been saying and told him, "This is what will be done for the man who kills him." Verse 28. Now the older brother, he's going to become very sour grapes, very jealous when he hears his younger brother do this. Look what he says. When Eliab, David's oldest brother, heard him speaking with the men, he burned with anger at him and asked, "Why have you come down here? And with whom did you leave those sheep in the wilderness?" Oh, you just have to insult someone, right? When you become angry, just might as well insult it. That's all he has against David. David has been faithful in keeping those sheep. He's been learning a whole lot of Bible doctrine. He's young and he's handsome. But what can he say? He can insult him. That's all he has. With whom did you leave those few sheep in the wilderness? Ha. Oh, Eliab knows that there are sheep keepers there that can substitute David while he's gone. I know how conceited you are and how wicked your heart is. You came down only to watch the battle. Eventually, you're going to be accused later on as well of being conceited, and maybe you are conceited. Maybe you are arrogant. But the more Bible doctrine you acquire, the less conceited and less arrogant you become. You start expressing grace orientation, humility. And even though you're going to be the most grace-oriented or humble person in whatever place you find yourself, you're going to be accused of being extremely arrogant. Because of your walk, because of your confidence, because you speak well. And they're going to say, he's so arrogant, he's so conceited. They're going to accuse you of being conceited because you know something, because you know Bible doctrine, because you do not follow all the rest of the flock, because you're not a sycophant and kiss butt to anyone who has power or who has money. And so they're going to accuse you, look at you, conceited type, and they're also going to accuse you of being wicked, being evil. Well, little does he know that David has a whole lot of doctrine inside of his soul. You came down only to watch the battle. Verse 29. Now what have I done? Little brother saying, what have I done? Said David. Can I even speak? Verse 30. He then turned away to someone else and brought up the same matter, and the men answered him as before. Rightly so. Just turn away from the sour grapes, rather. When the older brother's hating on you, just might as well turn away and ask more questions if you need to. Then, verse 31. What David said was overheard and reported to Saul, and Saul sent for him. Verse 32. David said to Saul, let no one lose heart. On account of this Philistine, your servant will go and fight him. Verse 33. Saul replied, you are not able to go out against this Philistine and fight him. You are only a young man, and he has been a warrior from his youth. Verse 34. But David said to Saul, your servant has been keeping his father's sheep. And now he's showing his qualifications here. When a lion or a bear came and carried off a sheep from the flock, I went after it, struck it, and rescued the sheep from its mouth. When it turned on me, I seized it by its hair, struck it, and killed it. Your servant has killed both the lion and the bear. This uncircumcised Philistine will be like one of them, because he has defied the armies of the living God. This is divine viewpoint. Paul knows that he's been getting prepared by the Lord. You should also know that as you advance by means of the daily cognition of the Word of God, you're going to be getting prepared by the Lord. And you're going to find yourself in difficult situations, and you must understand that you are going to, that is preparation from the Lord. So there's no complaining, no whining. If you find yourself cleaning bathrooms, cleaning toilets, cleaning floors, whatever it is, just understand that that is God's will. And you better do that job as unto the Lord. Just as David did so here with the flock. He was tending the sheep instead of being out there like great military men like Eliab and Abinadab and Shammah. Verse 37. The Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will rescue me from the hand of this Philistine. This is divine viewpoint. If he rescued you from this, from that, then he's going to rescue you from what happens forward. If you're in the plan of God, if you're advancing in obedience, sometimes you must go back to square one or square two and understand that God saved you from this, he saved you from that, he saved you from that. Therefore, it follows that he's going to save you from the next thing that's coming up along, that's coming ahead. And then this is David's doctrinal rationale. Look, Saul said to David, go, and the Lord be with you.